Okay, so what I have here today, slightly different kind of video, obviously. Ooh, hello, there's like a person on my cursor. Yeah, so today I'm going to have a look. I'm going to do like a, not a first impressions because I've had this a while now, a little review type thing of this engine here. This is an Ivatt C1 Atlantic. It comes in a few different variants. I've neglected to lay them all out. But what I have here is the British Railways Unlined Black version, which looks rather nice. And it's coupled up to a short rake, very short rake, of Gresley teaks in Carmine Cream, which is quite a, it's a nice looking livery. It's, I'm gonna say it looks better than the exposed teak. Said it. It looks better than exposed teak. Especially on like the corridor side. Let me just go over. Like, that looks amazing. Yeah, so the route that I'm on is Cambridgeshire Lines and the ECML. I'm currently sat at Peterborough North, which we now know today as Peterborough, in the 1930s, so this is a bit too advanced. Damn me. You literally have a drink right next to you. Yeah, so... And basically we're going to have a little look around the engine, and then we're going to take it off on a little run down to the next stop, which in this case, because it's the 1930s and beaching is probably still a child, we're going to go to the first stop, which is Tallington. Not Grantham, Tallington. Which is still actually about 5 to 10 miles. It's like, there aren't many stops on this line. Anyway, enough about the line and the route and whatnot. The C1 Atlantic. So these were, hang on, let me get some info. I am prepared, aren't I? Oh lovely, my laptop's done that thing where it doesn't. I just tried to increase the brightness, and it was doing that thing where it doesn't. The joys of Surfaces. They're honestly really good machines, but like sometimes they're a bit buggy. Okay. GNR Ivatt C1. Let me look at some things. Right. So, this is the Wikipedia page. We are serving up the highest quality information about the Ivatt C1, which, let me position my camera a bit better. There we go. So, the Great Northern Railway C1 is Atlantic. It's a 442 configuration, which is really nice looking. It's like, when I first saw this in Transport Fever as a mod, I was like, ooh, it looks like the Flying Scotsman, but smaller. And that just sort of caught me. So, they were built at Doncaster between 1902 and 1910. 94 of them were built. And any notable information? Any notable information? Not really. I mean, just looking at the, quickly glancing over the Wikipedia shows that they were just all-round decent performers until the Pacifics came in and they were moved down to the secondary expresses and the outer suburbans eventually. Although, and they lasted a decent while. Number 251, the first one, lasted all the way until 1950. 251 was the first one, was it? I don't know. 251, yep. Yeah, 251 lasted all the way until 1950 in service. So that one had a lifespan of a good 48 years, which is a lot for a train. But by the start of British Rail, there were only 17 left. So most of them were withdrawn early, but 251 made it to 1950. So they had, some of them had a good long life, others not so much. So, yeah, that's some information about the C2? No. C1. They were withdrawn between 1924 and 1950. There we go. Yeah. Don't know what to say, really. Well, let's go look at the train sim model. Let's take just a general look at the livery first of all. It is gorgeous. This black, this unlined black, I do quite like it because it shows off that you can do weathering on it really effectively. Like, look at that coming down off the thing. It looks like it's had a leak. It looks really good. And the bump mapping is of course really obvious on black. You can see the highlights, so you can see through the bump mapping the supports inside the tender, which I do like that as a nice little touch. And this has the transitional British Railways logo, just British Railways in straight up gill sans, which, I mean, it's a nice typeface, but like, I've used it, but like, yeah, gill sans is gill sans, and it's nice looking in the right places, and I'm not 100% sure if the side of trains was the right place. Really? So, the numbering is crisp, and it's outlined in black. It's not too pixelated, like if you just go here you can't really see it. And they have the route availability baked onto the texture, where the number is a separate decal, as is the standard for numbering. Right, and then you've got a little builder's plate here, Great Northern Railway Company, number 1071, 1907 at Doncaster. So this would have been one of the latter produced ones, and it's number 62884 under British Rail. Moving on to the front here, ooh, you've got really nice weathering under there, because that would have been very hard to get to, like, in cleaning. And there's really nothing on the buffer beam in the way of painted. Like, there's no number or anything like Great Western did. And the buffers, they're nice. They've got that little oily splodge, which is nice. And it's... no, it is the same from buffer. It is the same on each buffer, which is a bit oofy, but, you know. I don't know what this does. I don't know what that does. And there are supposed to be a lot of customization options with the Caledonia Works trains, but I've yet to explore them in great detail. Now, looking inside, this is only a 2-cylinder thing, so there isn't really much going on in there. In the cab, oh, I've got it on pause brake, of course it won't work. Yeah. So I think before we get to the cab, let's just look at the tender. The tender is nicely modelled. As I pointed out before, it's got the bump mapping, and it's got this nice sort of curvature there. That looks really nice. And then these railings, probably almost entirely decorative, if I could speak. And you've got nice coal load there, nice and full. And lower my volume. And pause brake. There we go. We are now in the thing. So this is what the cab looks like on my graphics settings. It's got things in it that are nice. That works. Everything works. And yeah, it looks, I honestly, yeah. Something I never actually realised about the C-Class, well not C-Class, the C1, is they had these split windows. I always thought they just had the top one, but they have this second one. But what really it really feels like they missed a point. Like they missed the point. Because here, the mid-level is where you're most likely to need to see. Because here is a bit too high to see if you look based on that lamp. Here's a bit too high, and here's way too low. So I think, you know, this is more just criticism of the design of the actual train itself. But, yeah, it feels like maybe if this window stopped a bit more up there and this window kept going a bit further out. Right, let's pop the HUD up. Be helpful if I turn function lock on. There we go. And get that going. So let's explore actually the myriad of different camera views. So we're in here, the GNR located right hand drive, and if I tap right, we get a head out view, tap right again, we get the firebox view, tap right again, we get the left hand head out view, followed by the left hand interior view. Left again, we have this top of cab view, which I do like, and this view on the front, which is also really nice. This view looking sort of down the whole train from the front, offside? I don't know. And this view looking at the wheels, which is, I think that's nice for dramatic, sort of low. And then back to the front. So if you just want to go there, that's there. We've got that, this one, and this one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. Right, we should have enough steam. So let's get this thing going. Now, actually, I'm going to go for my favourite view on all the Caledonia Works things that have this view. This one by the wheels. That just, it looks so dramatic. I neglected to put on the dampers. So, there we are. We are now at Tallington. The run took about 13 minutes, and quite smooth. This thing drives brilliantly. Like, you scrutinise my driving tactics all you want. This is how I learn works. Probably isn't the best way of doing it, but works for me. Got some decent speed up. I think we got over 70 miles an hour, which I actually haven't done with this loco before, I don't think. I might have, I might not, but it drives beautifully either way. And I did, it was a very hairy stop at Tallington, but yeah, we kind of had to stop this far forward anyway, even if I did come in slower. Anyway, enough about my driving style. So, thoughts on how this thing drives. As I say, it drives beautifully, and as you heard there, it sounds great. And I sounded the whistle a few times during the run. That was just the standard spacebar loop whistle. There's also several other variations that you can get by pressing B, like this one, 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 this one. That was the same one. Yeah, there's a fair few there. Okay, some I'm just trying V and shift and whatever. And control and stuff. There's nothing assigned to those. So you get the standard looping one. And a few other ones. Some of them do loop, or at least are long enough to sound like a looping one. And those are on the B key. Now, bit of a closer look at the texturing work that Caledonia Works have done on this. If I get right up close, you can see there's some texture in it, which is nice. It's not just flat colour. And there's very good weathering around sort of seams. Like, I love this sort of streak where there's been water. And that one as well. And these, they look like people have been climbing all over them at like the depot and stuff, which fairly realistic, I would assume. I don't know much about how the steam mirror really worked in that sense. Ignore the flashing, that's the bug on this route. I have no idea what's causing it. All I know is that it's bug. And there's this little detail here that I quite like. This little silver, or whatever it is. Silver or brass? I'm thinking silver. It looks silver to me. That little accent on that side of the smoke box. Looks nice. Looks very nice. And down here at the conrods, we saw those in great detail over the last 10 minutes or so. And these little plugs here, I don't know what they're for, but they look nice. One thing I will point out is the seams around the textures are a little bit iffy, but that might just be a thing with 3D modelling that I'm not aware of. And maybe it's just some ways of processing textures that lead to that. I have no idea. And, ooh, a bit of a closer look at these cabs. You can see there's the big prominent window. And then there's that bar that I hate. You could drive this thing from the cab if that bar wasn't there, but it is there on the real thing, so I guess it has to be there on the model. And then there's the window that is of more use, but it would be of even more use if it was connected to that one without a bar. Again, I'm not quite happy with the prototype. I'm less happy with the prototype than I am with the model. And the smoke box, it's got this lovely door with very, very nicely done riveting. Again, some textured thing. Overall, the detail on this mod is really good. You've got these straps. I don't know what these are, but lined liveries line them out, and this being the unlined livery, it doesn't. Because it's unlined. That's the boiler full. From inside the cab, get back to the view. The one downside of having so many cab angles is you have to tap the arrow so many times to get back to your cab angle, or to get back to the normal one. And the texturing in the cab, you've got this lovely wood thing, this wood plank floor, which is nice. And it's not like it's the same plank on each one like you might find. It's like every plank is different, which is nice. And you've got the fireman's shovel there, a bucket of whatever. The Bible. Apparently there's a Bible in all of Caledonia Works' products. It's like a nice little Easter egg to find whenever you get Caledonia Works, like where's the Bible? Releases at the top. And the flashing is really annoying. So yeah, that's going to be it for this first review of a steam engine and train sim from LNER. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.